Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Out for a Duck, the podcast where three armchair critics share their musings and frustrations about the world of cricket. With me today are Yasser and Yafis Gardezi. My name is Jahan Zaid. We're going to kick things off today with the T20 World Cup, the Pakistan-India game. Just for reference, we are recording this the day before the Pakistan-India game, so that's why we have no idea what the result would be, although probably we have a very good idea what the result might be, but nonetheless. Going into it quickly, let's talk about our playing 11. Yafis, you want to kick things off? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Jadeb, for the introduction. My thoughts are first on the overall game. I am both looking forward to it and not looking forward to it. Um, I'm in that stage of my life where Pakistan cricket matches with India are more torture than they are a pleasant experience for Pakistan. But I think this is perhaps one of the better team that we put forward against India over the last couple of years. I would say, especially for the match in Sri Lanka, I think this team is well suited. We have decent spinners. We also have a good opening pair now. Unlike previously, I think we've never had such a good opening pair before. We have a decent middle order. Salman Agha's form has been pretty good as well. Decent all-rounders too. So I think Pakistan will compete, but unfortunately, the Indian team just looks very strong, too strong. I know that maybe Abhishek Sharma might not be playing, but that's okay. They still have just a very strong team, and I think our chances of winning, unfortunately, are not very high.
Any thoughts on would you make any changes for in the playing 11?
So I think we do have too many bowlers. We have 6 or 7 bowlers who could all bowl 4 overs. I think we need to strengthen our batting. Nafe, in my opinion, has to be in the team. Fakhar Zaman, for that matter, has to be in the team. I don't like Babar Azam in the team. You know my opinion about that. Babar is in the team in place of Fakhar. And I don't see how, in what universe, Babar uh, is the first choice when it comes to in comparison to Fakhar, right? So I think both Fakhar and Nafi needs to play. So one of the spinning all rounders they have to go, in my opinion.
Which one would you draw?
Would you would you drop
So
by
I'll drop Nawaz actually. So Nawaz's record against India isn't great. He has been in good form, except for the last couple of matches. I would drop Nawaz. India does have left-handers. They have Dubey, they have Ishan Kishan, they have a couple of others also. So I don't see
appreciate
the
his
point of
message?
playing Nawaz. I would replace Nawaz with Fakhar. Um, that'll be that'll be my first change.
Nawaz Fakar and Nafe instead of Babar?
Nafe in place of Babar. Yeah.
Yasser, your thoughts on 11?
Look, I mean, I think it's a pretty settled 11, right? So we've had two good games. We're playing in Colombo, right? So I wouldn't necessarily make any changes if it's not broken, right? I know it's a different game. It's probably being played on the same track as where Zimbabwe played Australia recently, I think. So the track is going to be a bit grippy. The track is going to be a bit more spin friendly. Um, And I think I do agree a little bit with Yafis in terms of you can probably have Barber who gets a bit stuck at times against spin, good quality spin, and he plays too many dot balls, which ends up putting a lot of pressure on himself and the person on the other side. So that is one question mark, but then he's probably the only anchor in the team anyway, right? So you do need sometimes a bit of an anchor person in that team. So I wouldn't necessarily drop Barber. I would keep him for the game tomorrow. I have a question mark between one of uh, Nawaz or Fahim, right? So, given the track, I think maybe Fahim doesn't need to be in there. He's not necessarily a good player against spin anyway. So when you have, Varun and Akshar and maybe Kuldeep coming in, I guess On the bowling side, maybe probably Fahim doesn't need to be in. Maybe we bring in Fakhar in his place and have a proper batsman in there. Maybe one change. That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Him to drop Fahim after that performance against Netherlands. Granted, it was Netherlands, but still.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, look, I mean, again, you have to choose the best team for the match, right? So the team that you're playing and the pitch that you're playing on. So Fahim was good for the game and he did well. I think tomorrow we do need to strengthen our batting a little bit. And we do need enough spinners, right? If we could have, and you have Usman Tariq, Abrar, Shadab, Nawaz, Aga, Saim, right? These six bowlers, you get 20 overs out of them. Shaheen will obviously bowl a spell. You don't need Fahim from a bowling point of view. Is he the best batsman against India's spinners or India's bowling attack? I probably don't see that.
But lefty, yeah. So it's helpful to have that left-hander in the middle order or lower middle order.
Yeah, yeah. But with Pakhar is lefty as well, right? So would you rather have a batsman, proper batsman as a lefty, or would you rather have um, or someone who is questionable against spin?
So my
But
take
then,
on it is, hey, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. My view on that would be that then you'll only be playing with one fast bowler, right? Only
Yeah,
Shaheen,
yeah.
no other fast bowler, just
And
in case
and
wicket suits
mm,
fast bowler.
Shaheen would struggle, I think, on this track anyway, in my view.
Yeah, so I agree with that. So for me, one is that I would bring in Naseem instead of Shaheen. Naseem had a pretty good ILT20. Now that was Dubai, and this is Sri Lanka, but the pitches are not that dissimilar. Shaheen struggled
Mm.
in BPL. He's not bowled very well in the first two games. I would bring in Naseem for Shaheen, and Yafs, I agree with you. We have too many bowlers. I would bring in another batsman, whether that's I think it should be Nafe. But I would actually go with replacing Usman Tariq. I feel that yes, there is a mystery element to him, but I don't think he's going to trouble India. We have Shadab, Nawaz, although I agree with you that Nawaz against India is a bit suspect. You have Abrar, you have Saim, you have Salman Ali Agha. We have enough spin bowling options. I would bring in Nafe in place of Usman Tariq, Naseem in place of Shaheen. Um, but just on, we've all touched on Babar, and maybe we can segue into it very quickly. Babar's place in the T20 lineup. So I have gone back and forth a lot on this. Up to 6 months ago, I still believed, or well, rather, I'll say I was on the fence of whether Babar should be in the squad and leaning a little bit more that there's a place for him. And then BBL happened. After BBL has Adam, he has no place in the T20 lineup. But there's something that interesting that so our T20 lineup in the last 5 years or so has been behind the times, right? We've had the safety first approach. We have to build a foundation and have wickets in hand, which was not in sync with where the cricket world or the T20 cricket is moving towards. In the last, let's say, 2-3 months under Hassan, there has been a mindset change. And there's something that Saib Zada said the other day in an interview, which I found very interesting, where he says that his job is now very much maximize the first 6 overs. I think in terms of the level of maturity of our team in trying to modernize the way we play cricket, having that security blanket, safety blanket of Babar in the middle order, that if you lose 2-3 quick wickets while trying to accelerate in the power play, you have Babar who can stabilize the innings, is important. It's important from a mindset perspective. But I know you're shaking your head, Yafis, and you have opinions
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, I have a very strong opinion about this. So Babar as an anchor, I can see the argument for that. But Babar recently does not play as an anchor, right? Babar is trying to be Chris Gale. Babar is trying to be AB de Villiers. The match against Netherlands, we wanted Babar to actually play that anchor role and take the team towards the win, right? What does he do? He comes down the track and tries to hit a six, right? So what is
That's a
Babar's
maturity
job?
problem. That's a maturity
Yeah, I
problem.
mean,
That's
It's an execution
yeah,
problem.
execution
yeah.
problem. Yeah.
So the point is, Babar does not have that game. So if you are playing him in the team, then tell him that we do not want you to score at 160 strike rate. We rather want you to score at 120 strike rate. And then maybe in certain situations, Babar makes sense. But you know my opinion about this. We do not need an anchor in our T20 side. We have a lot of batsmen, a lot of good batsmen. Salman Agha could potentially play that anchor role if needed, right? Even I think Sahibzada Farhan, he slogs, but then once he enters that middle over, he can take those singles and doubles also. And then we have a bunch of good batsmen. I don't see the point of Babar. See, Babar, if you go back to before 2020, 2019, Babar was scoring at an average of 50 with a strike rate of 140, right? Something happened to Babar. Babar is trying to hit sixes when he actually used to hit fours. So there's this mindset in Babar, I think, and I think it's a bit of a problem with the coaching staff also, where they think that Babar should be hitting sixes, two or three sixes every every over. Babar just cannot do that. Babar has unfortunately been unable to actually develop that game. Uh, Unlike the likes of Steve Smith, for example, in the BBL, Steve Smith was absolutely phenomenal.
Amazing.
Uh, yeah, so
But
Babar,
I think
yeah,
my,
yeah,
my, my question mark over there is, look, I mean, it happens with most batsmen, right? Batsmen, they need to evolve. Bowlers,
Yeah.
other teams, they figure out your playing style. They know what Barber was doing back in 2021, what his key game was, key shots were, where he was hitting most of his boundaries, and they then covered all those bases, made sure that he wasn't getting those fours that quickly enough, and then he got stuck, right? So, and he hasn't evolved his game since properly, right? This is probably the first time
yeah.
he's actually working hard to do it, right? And this is the result that we're getting. He's in that transition phase where he's trying to evolve the game to get ahead one more time, right? So he's in the middle stage. He's a good enough batsman, and I think probably he will change. He just needs to keep working on it. Khwaja Nafe question, by the way, would you have Khwaja Nafe in place of Babar? Would you have? My option is Khwaja Nafe should come in and replace the wicketkeeper that we have, which is Usman Khan, right? He comes in, he's a wicket keeper, comes in, replaces Usman Khan. Usman Khan is not a great, he hasn't done much within the Pakistan cricket team setup. He's probably had one or two good innings, but generally he hasn't been consistent. He hasn't done much. And to be honest, I think the role that he is supposed to play, he doesn't do that very well either, right? So if I have to bring in Fajan Nafe for his potential, for what he can do, I would bring him in place of the role that he's supposed to play, which is a wicket keeper, and bring him in place of Usman.
Just So given the squad that we have, ideally I would have loved to have Hassan Nawaz in the squad, and then he
Yeah,
could have come in at
I
six,
agree.
seven, eight, and come in the last two, 3 overs.
Yeah,
But given the squad we have, I think the options are limited. Just to close
Mm.
out the argument on Barber. So Yasser, I agree with you completely that I don't think he's evolved. It's not a. It might be a mindset, might be a mental thing as well, and then definitely there was a dip
Mm.
in his performance across formats when he was removed from captain.
Mm.
But I think the opposition teams have figured him out. They figured out how to contain his scoring, and he has not evolved. Like Steven Smith has evolved his game. Barber's not been able to do that. He is trying to do that. He's trying to hit out, but that's not his game. He needs to figure out, what works for him.
Mm.
Just my last thought on Barber, and then we can move on because in the interest of time, is that so I think that you look at the top T20 teams, the Englands, the India, and all that, they have accepted or they've reached a level of maturity that they will go for the 180, 200, 225. And in that process, there'll be 1 in 10 games or 1 in 20 games where they get bundled out for 80 or 90. And they're okay with that. I think with our team, we're not okay with it. We have this fear, crippling fear that if we try to go too aggressive and if we don't have an anchor in the innings, that we are going to get bundled out for 110, 120. And that fear just is holding us back. So in that sense, I think that's the role that Babar has right now to give them that extra security in the middle over. I agree with it that he's not doing a good job of it, and I also agree with you that modern
yeah.
cricket has moved away from that. But for
So
Pakistan
by the
cricket,
way, yeah, so if we do get the full 20 overs tomorrow,
yeah,
let's say, I mean, there's a chance of, of rain, weather, whatever. If you do get 20 overs tomorrow,
yeah,
what do you think is a good score on that wicket?
160 plus, 170, 160 plus, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 170 at least.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about Pakistan's performance against Indian spinners and Babar's also performance. against Indian spinners. So Sheikh, I agree with you. Just to close out my argument, unfortunately, Babar is no longer an anchor, no longer a player who scores at 160 strike rate. He's someone in between. While you were talking, I was thinking of scenarios where I would really want Babar there. Would I want Babar there at 20 for 2? Not really. Babar would do nothing. Would I want Babar at 60 for 1 after 6 overs? No, not at all, right? So, so, w- uh, so, so at what score would you want Babar there?
23
What
for
is
3.
that scenario? Yeah, 23 for 3, and then what? Babar scores 10 of 20 balls or
Oh,
15 of 20
Yeah, and
balls,
then
and then
then
we
ideally
go
he plays
to
50
one
balls
ten,
from there. And he
one
plays
ten,
50 balls
and
and
then we
makes
score
50,000.
110. Yeah,
40.
then we get to 110 in 20 overs, and that's
Yeah,
it.
what's the point, right? What's the point? So I also don't want to be too critical. He's a wonderful one-day player, fantastic one-day player. But unfortunately, the game has moved on. Babar hasn't evolved, and then I think he is a big impediment to our team. I remember once in the BBL, the opposition players were saying that we don't want to get Babar out. Can
Yes.
you believe that?
Yeah.
I actually heard that interview where they were saying we don't want Babar to actually get out. That is a sensational statement
Yeah,
to
and,
make
and
for somebody who was ranked number one for 1,000 days
Yeah,
in
plus that
T20 cricket, right?
that was just because they
Uh,
wanted to make sure the crowd stayed in because there are more people supporting Babar than they were supporting the home team. So they wanted to make sure that the crowd
yeah,
stays in.
well
Okay.
said, well
Uh,
said.
in the interest of time, very quickly, your thoughts on the drama around should we play? Will we be playing? Will we be boycotting the game? I personally think that I don't understand what the thought process was. I don't see a scenario. So if it was just purely about solidarity with Bangladesh, I don't see a scenario even currently when the relations have improved, whereby Bangladesh would do the same for us. If the Champions Trophy was happening now, and India had done what they did in the Champions Trophy, where they refused to come to play in Pakistan and they dragged out it till a month before the tournament, I don't see a scenario where Bangladesh would have done anything similar. So what were we thinking? Either of you have any thoughts on what we were thinking?
Yeah. So I have an opinion about this. So in my opinion, I actually support what they did. I think it had nothing to do with Bangladesh. It was just that this was an opportunity to show some spine. Naturally, there's a larger geopolitical and all of that angle also, with India and with the new regime change in Bangladesh also. So there's this view that Pakistan-Bangladesh relations would improve. But but I think this was more than that. Pakistan was trying to show some spine at some point. Um, we didn't show any spine during the Champions Trophy. Everyone thinks that Pakistan would stand for nothing and India can get away with whatever they want. I understand that they are the superpower in terms of money also, and in terms of the quality of the team. But at some point, somebody has to say this is enough, right? Uh, what is next? That India will say that the top three shouldn't come to Pakistan, or like India is continuously uh, trying to push Pakistan away. That's all I can say. And now that Pakistan has done this, I think there's this view that maybe even in the future tournaments, Pakistan might choose not to play, and maybe just for this reason, we can get something from India. In return, we might not, but I like the fact that we showed some spine.
Wouldn't it make sense then see it through? We had the government clearly saying it. We had that excuse that we didn't get permission from our government to play. Then wouldn't it make sense to see it
But
through and say, no, we're not going to play?
do you not think that just because we just did this, which was completely unthinkable, this is the first step? I understand your point that maybe we should have seen it through. But I also see the point that we finally said, dude, you do this, next time we might not even play, right? So there is, I thought we tried to stand up to them. Let me
The try
change,
is the
frame
most
this.
is the
Yeah,
most important
we are
caveat.
we try to we try to stand up to them. They were getting their way. They always will. But somebody needs to say this is enough. And I also
look,
appreciated the way Nasir
yeah,
Hussain and all the other
That's true.
Australian and the English players came out, and they were, rather than targeting Pakistan, they said ICC
Yeah,
has become BCCI, right?
Yeah.
correct,
So
correct. I heard that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think on the same topic, I think behind the scenes, maybe there were potentially just a theory, right? Maybe there were discussions about the money pot
Yeah.
and distribution of the money pot, right? So what happens is obviously India gets the bulk share of it. They obviously they bring in the most money. They get the bulk share, which is about 38, $39 million, whatever that number, or nearly 40% of the pot, right? So, and then obviously you have England and Australia, and then Pakistan is the fourth largest. We probably get 5%, 6% of the total pot, I think. But the way England and Australia are not that far ahead, they probably get 6, 7%, and Australia gets maybe 8%, one of those. The difference that they have is they get to play a lot with India, right? So they have a lot of bilateral series with India, and through the bilateral series, they obviously get to make a lot more money. We did have an MOU with India, right, playing, and the reason why we'd accepted this financial distribution model was that we would have bilateral series, so we would make up
yeah,
the amount that we're getting paid less. We would make up that amount through the bilateral series, and then India didn't come to Pakistan. There were no bilateral series. The government obviously stopped that, and that was ICC basically just stepped away, right? So there was an MOU which was signed between Pakistan and India. India and Pakistan would play 3 or 5 series over a period of 3, 4 years, bilateral series, and that would bring in the revenue share, appropriately, right? And this is one way of doing that, right? You just say, look, I mean, you guys obviously a lot of money is made out through TV rights and everything because of these matches, India and Pakistan, right? And 40% goes to India, right? And we get some money out of that as well, but my overall share should be much larger, and which should be if India and Pakistan are playing more regularly, but because it's not happening, fine. We don't have to do this one-off match, just like that, right? So it's not appropriate. It's not beneficial to us in any case. So maybe there is some element of that, right? So maybe that's going to come through.
And if it does, great. As in, I think it'll be a while before we definitively know whether there's any impact on the revenue sharing model or if we get
Yeah,
an additional share. If that does actually happen, fair play, well done, and we played our cards well. If it doesn't
yeah,
happen, then I really don't see what the point was. Other than making us sound at best a laughing stock, worse, fickle, or other way around. Um, yeah, I really don't understand why we went through this whole process, and if we were going to take a stand, see it through. But just on sort of
so Sheikh, I will say, I'm sorry, I will say, I think there's this difference of opinion here. And it also stems from the fact that I live in Pakistan, and obviously you live in Dubai. And the type of opinion that I've seen in Pakistan, they have been overwhelmingly supportive of the Pakistani action. And obviously you've been reading international media,
mm,
jahan pe it's been obvious that Pakistan seems to have backtracked. I think my opinion also stems from the fact that I live in Pakistan, and there's this bombardment of views
yeah,
that I'm also exposed to, which is that Pakistan did well. So uh, I I I do stand with what I said,
mm,
which is that at least we showed some spine. Uh, Nobody does that
yeah,
to the BCCI. So yeah.
fair enough. The irony would be that if we had this, will they, won't they play drama, and the match gets washed out tomorrow. That'll be that'll be the real irony.
I mean, there's a good probability of that happening, actually, to be honest. I think
Yeah,
there's a very good chance of it getting rained out or getting impacted, right?
yeah.
So it would 5 over game, 7 over game, 10 over game.
Would you
Um,
play would you play Barber if this was a 10-over game?
No, then it
yeah,
makes sense, right?
I'll send him out to open.
Well done, Sheikh.
He'll play 40
Yeah,
balls and he'll make a very nice 42. It'll anchor the innings
Yes.
too. Yes.
no,
Okay.
no, no, 44.
44? Chalo, theek hai. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Quickly, let's go through our thoughts on who's going to make it semifinals. Yasser
Yeah,
or
I'm not
Yasser?
going to uh,
Yeah,
I'm not
please.
going to
Go
go
ahead.
beyond. I think India, South Africa,
Mm,
um, New Zealand,
mm.
and I would say Pakistan,
Okay. Why Pakistan?
not Australia.
Not Australia. I agree with you on that. Why Pakistan?
So I think apart from India, we are a match for any other side in this World Cup. I think our spinner will trouble most of the sides. So I see India beating us once or twice in this tournament, but I think we'll be a very hard team to beat for the others, in my opinion.
Good thing is they can only beat us a maximum of two times. That's the structure of the
Yes,
tournament is
not
that
three times,
they
not
cannot
three
do it.
times
There won't be
like
another
in
Asia
Asia
Cup.
Cup. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sir.
So I'm going with three of the same: South Africa, India, Pakistan, and I'm going with Sri Lanka.
And Yafis, I'm surprised you didn't go with Sri Lanka, by the way, for
I'm going with Sri
completely
Lanka as the first
non-cricketing
team.
reasons, but I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also surprised. I forgot. Maybe I can kick
Hmm.
India out.
Replays,
Let's bring in
replays.
Sri Lanka.
Jonathan, you may need to edit this. So
Done it, done it. Yasser, why Sri Lanka?
I think it's Sri Lankan conditions. They are not an easy team to beat. On their day, I think they can upset or win a few games.
Hasaranga isn't playing now, right? So
Ah,
he's injured. He's the main
so,
main bowler. So.
Sri Lanka is yeah, he's got it. So,
yeah.
But I
Um,
will say though, how cool will it be that if we reach the semifinals and then we reach the finals and the whole semifinals and finals are played in Sri Lanka that way? That'll be like really cool.
that is enough
yeah,
motivation for us, for the boys.
Yeah.
So for me, actually, I'm with my picks are aligned with the office. I'm going India, South Africa from Group X. I think South Africa they made the final last time around, and hopefully with this that they won the Test Championship, this choker tag off of them or that weight is off of them.
Yeah.
So I see them doing pretty well. And then Pakistan, New Zealand from Group Y. Uh, Pakistan, I think, is the bowling lineup. In fact, first is we'll bring all our matches in Sri Lanka. I think we'll play all our matches in Colombo. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
You don't have to
I
travel. You
agree.
get used to the conditions. It's a massive advantage. And we saw that in Champions Trophy. India had a massive advantage by playing all their matches in Dubai. That makes a big difference. And then, yes, the spin attack. I think our bowling lineup is really well suited for these pitches. Our batting is now coming into the 21st century when it comes to T20, the mindset, at least we're trying to use the first 6 overs. Um, and then New Zealand, just because they, in ICC tournaments, they just know how to get things done. They find a way to make it to the semifinals and finals. And they've been doing very well recently. So I think New Zealand is looking in good shape.
No Australia for any one
And
of us then.
yeah. You know what? If Steve Smith gets added to the squad,
Yeah.
you never know. But without Steve Smith, without Hazelwood, without Cummins, without Stark, I just don't see the star power in their team. They're really struggling.
yeah.
Yeah. Although we should never bet against Australia. They'd always find a way. But this time around, I
Was
don't.
it, why is head captaining? Is Marsh
Marsh
injured? Wasn't he
Marsh is
looking?
injured. You do not know
Marsh is
Yeah.
injured.
what has happened to him. Sheikh.
No, I don't know what happened to him.
He got injured in throwdowns before the first game.
Okay.
Um, Look at it later. There's a term that they're using to describe his condition. For
I'll
censorship
look it up.
reasons, we will not say it over here.
It's okay. It's okay. You can save and you can edit
I haven't learned how to edit, so I wouldn't.
it.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
none of us picked West Indies. I thought long and hard about this.
Oh,
Whether
that's interesting. Yeah, true.
whether
Correct.
West
I
Indies
mean,
could
that would
sneak
be my
through.
15.
Yeah.
Correct, right. That would be my 15. So Sri Lanka, West Indies probably toss up.
So they're different groups. So West Indies
Different
is the
group.
same group as India, South Africa, and Sri Lanka is in our group. They've done the
Sri Lanka is in
pre-seeding
our group?
already.
Okay,
So
fine.
we would be in Group Y, and then India, South Africa would be in Group X with West
Mhm.
Indies and
Yeah.
Australia, and England, Sri Lanka will be in our group with New Zealand.
New Zealand.
So I don't think any of us are thinking England has any shot, right?
No, I don't think so. I think
Not at the moment,
especially
no. And I
sorry.
and I think Sri Lanka can beat
Go
New
ahead.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I also think that with the tournament going on and the pitches getting a bit slower, spinners are going to become even more difficult to play, right? So I do strongly feel that Pakistan would be a very tough team to beat as long as you're not India.
There's no biasness over here.
And
We
we
all are
if
neutrals, and
we
we believe
if
very strongly
if
Pakistan will make it through.
yes, if hypothetically we lose tomorrow, I think we have a strong chance of winning. But if hypothetically we lose tomorrow, and then Namibia game becomes very important, critical, right? So
Plus,
hypothetically we
tomorrow's game
lose that as
is
well.
washed out. It's done already.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
No, but
And remind
we can still no no we can actually lose to both India and Namibia and we can still qualify. मेरा नहीं
then
ख्याल
it's
it's that yeah.
then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
comes in run
All
rate.
run rate. You know.
And I will remind everyone that we're recording this a day before the Pakistan India game. We have no insights on what will happen with regards to the weather.
Yeah.
Okay, so very quickly moving on. The other big thing in Pakistan cricket at the moment is PSL, the new teams, auctions. Yafiz, I wanted your thoughts on this. There's no Multan team anymore.
Yeah,
No,
so for
it's a
those
company boys.
obviously
Any place.
who don't know me, I am from Multan. I've been a big supporter of Multan Sultans. And by the way, the following, I think Multan Sultans as a franchise had a great following within the city. मेरे ख्याल में after Lahore, Multan Stadium saw the most attendance.
Yeah.
I know so many people who would go for every single match. They supported their team throughout. So it's a pity that they're not there. I understand why they're not there now. Clearly, finances and economics took over, but it's very unfortunate. मेरे ख्याल में with the whole Ali Tareen saga and whatnot, I think I may be biased here, but I think Ali Tareen, the way he managed the team was uh, really pretty good. Multan Sultan did really well. They had a good team. He's extremely forward-looking, and it's unfortunate that he's no longer part of the PSL. Um, and I think looking back, maybe Ali might regret the fact that he did not take it.
Yeah, when he had the chance.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, so
So are you shifting your allegiance to Pindi boys?
No. I now support Islamabad United. I've
Okay.
lived in Islamabad a long time. I love the way they manage their team. Rehan does a great job with team selection. They are extremely aggressive. Shadab, as the captain, is a very aggressive captain. I think they are the template that the Pakistan cricket team should follow. So with मेरे ख्याल में तो they play the best brand of cricket in PSL.
So on Multan, the economics part I don't understand. So Ali Tareen, I think he definitely made a big mistake when he had the opportunity. I don't know if that's ego or what the reason was. He could have gotten the team for a lot less than it went through in the auction. Uh, Even then, I know the new owners have had an affiliation with Pindi, but that's not the reason to change the franchise. You exactly as you said, Multan had a loyal following. It's a city that is passionate about cricket and fantastic ground. Uh, a lot of the reason of that high valuation that you paid for was because of this existing fan base, and you just threw it all away and moved to Pindi, where you have it in the Twin City, you already have a team, so you're kind of cannibalizing each other. So I am struggling to understand the economics behind the new owners ditching Multan and going to Pindi, moving to Pindi, or rebranding as Pindi.
But Pindi is a bigger city. It's more economically uh, powerful compared to Multan. Multan is a much smaller city. Uh, so I do see the point that, and Pindi has a good stadium also. I mean,
Which is also
much
Islamabad's
like
home stadium.
Multan. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
you're
point. But I do see the point. Yeah, I mean, if you are from Pindi and it's a big city, big industry there, a lot of economics at play, I do see the point. Multan is a much smaller city comparatively.
But so if they had bought in the first auction, the teams when Hyderabad and Sialkot came in, at that point they came in and they branded the team Pindi, understood. But this was you're taking an existing team, you paid a much higher valuation than what was
Yeah.
a month ago, And the reason for that is because it's an existing brand with an existing base, and you have something to start with. You're not starting from scratch, and you just threw it away. So that part I don't understand. So, but just
I will say though, maybe so this is a typical Pindi boy
yeah,
who's now getting back at Pakistan for calling them Pindi boys, right? So he wants to have a Pindi team. So,
that my MBA brain does not compute that.
yeah.
Uh, but on the
Hey,
other two
to be
teams,
honest, just to be honest, still leaves the door open for Ali Tareen to make comeback with Multan, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
he
yeah,
can
but
still do that maybe
I'm sure the participation agreement puts a limit on when they can add more
number of
teams.
teams. Correct. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Actually,
Yeah,
it did for the previous
yeah.
one, for the previous round. Now I'm not so sure if that's the case.
But just on the other two teams, I'm glad that we have Hyderabad team now. It's that's a big city and a deserved team. Sialkot with its sort of roots with T20 cricket when we had our national T20 competition and whatnot and how strong they were. So
Yes.
nice to
Yeah.
see them in and also keeping that brand name Sialkot Stallions. I'm not
Yeah.
understanding Hyderabad Houston Kings then. And as in adding Houston in there, I'm not really understanding, but uh, I'm sure there's some valid reason there somewhere.
The Americans have to bring the American touch.
Yes. Yeah. Just quickly, thoughts on the teams, the auctions, the squads that have been assembled? As in, I can start off.
Or choose. Or how about
Sorry,
we
sorry,
choose?
go on, go on.
We each choose a team.
Oh, choose a team, one team. Okay.
Like in terms of who we think is a strong team.
Um,
Yafis, I'm sure is going for Islamabad.
I am.
I didn't like the balance. I think. Okay, now I'm forgetting exactly who's in their roster, but when I was looking at it earlier, I didn't like the balance. I think they're missing good fast bowlers. Um, Yasser, do you have a pick?
Uh,
I for some reason was leaning towards Karachi.
Hachi on paper looks good.
Yes, yes. So that's where I was leaning towards. I think that was probably one of the stronger teams I could see
So I
this year.
picked Karachi and Sialkot, and since you've picked Karachi, I'll go with
Sialkot as well.
Sialkot. I think there's a Steven Smith
Mm.
factor. Um,
Yes.
I well, having said that, we've had big players in the past come in. McCullum came to PSL, and Chris Gale. They didn't have great amount of success in PSL, so it's possible Steve Smith might struggle as well. But the way he's been playing recently and emphasis he's putting on sort of improving his game, T20 game, it just means that I think that him and Sialkot is going to be very, very exciting. And they're supported by Sabzada Farhan, Josh Phillip in the power hitting department. Their bowling unit will be as Siddle. Siddle was bowling 145 plus in BBL. He's 40 plus years
Yeah,
old,
it's well,
yeah.
and he's
and actually very
consistent.
good bowling.
Yeah, and he's bowling really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And you have Salman Mirza, who's doing pretty well. He's in our squad right now. Spin
Yeah.
department being led by Tabrez Shamsi. So I think they're across the board, they're looking reasonably strong. Tim Payne as a coach, I put a question mark on. I don't know if he's had
Yeah.
a lot of T20 coaching experience. So that might be a weakness for them. But overall, I'm liking how Sialkot is shaping up.
Yeah, so on the Islamabad United's team, there's obviously Shadab, who I really like as a cricketer and a T20 captain. There's Devon Conway. मेरे ख्याल में he's a
Yeah.
fantastic T20 player. Then you have Fahim Ashraf, who's arguably, especially for that Pindi pitch type pitch, he's a great player there. You also have Mohammad Wasim Jr., Chapman. Samir Minhas, I really want to see how Samir Minhas does. Uh, in terms of, they also have Imad Wasim, Muhammad Hasnain as well, Sameen Gul. So
Ah, okay.
Sameen
Good
is
to
a
see.
decent bowler.
Decent bowler, yeah.
Muhammad Wasim Jr. is there. They also have, I think, Salman Irshad,
Hmm.
who's a decent bowler. Well, also, so they are covered, and they have a
Interesting.
very explosive batting lineup. So they are your typical Islamabad team. I don't see any differences.
Yeah. And they have a new coach as well, Luke Ronchi, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. That'll be interesting. All right, boys. I think at this is a good point to end the first episode. Any final thoughts, prayers, reflections on tomorrow's game?
I'm going for Pakistan win tomorrow.
Brave man you are.
Yes, indeed.
So I've run 100 scenarios in my head. We
Have
do
you done a Monte
we
Carlo
do win in
simulation?
we do so we do win in 5 of those 100 scenarios. Uh, so but in 95 out of the 100, unfortunately, we don't win. Maybe if Sahibzada Farhan Fire, Salman Ali Agha plays well,
Be
uh,
brave, be brave, Yaqub.
we
Stop
could
saying
have a
maybes.
yeah.
Make
Let's
it
hope
one of
Pakistan
those
wins.
five.
Yeah, let's hope Pakistan wins.
We hope for the best and expect the worst. And just remember that the 2 points from the India game have equal weight as the 2 points from the Netherlands, Namibia, and the USA game. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
that's right.
it's equal important. All right. On that note, gents, I think we closed the first episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you like this episode, please hit a like. If you like the content and the style, please hit subscribe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.